E.N.D here, day 3 for the spoilers of March of the Machine. Leave me in the comments below which is your favorite card spoiled so far. Mine is a card that we will review and discuss later on in this video. Let's start. And I want to start with the full art Talia and the Gitrock monster, the Store Championship. Beamtown Beatstick for 1 red, artifact equipment, equipped creature gets +1/+0 and has menace. When equipped creature deals combat damage to a player or battle, create a treasure token, equip for 2. Sunblessed Guardian for 1 and 1 white, it's a 2/2, 5 and 1 red Phyrexian mana, transform it and it transforms into Fairness Blessed Conqueror, 3/3. Whenever it attacks, create a tapped and attacking token that's a copy of it. Put a +1/+1 counter on that token for each +1/+1 counter on it. Sacrifice that token at the beginning of the next end step. Omen Hawker for 1 blue, it's a 1/1, tap, add 1 colorless and 1 blue mana, spend this mana only to activate abilities. Cersei Strobe Knight for 2 and 1 blue, it's a 2/2, flying and vigilance, tap, create a 2/2 white blue knight creature token with vigilance, activate only if you cast 2 or more spells this turn. Glistening Deluge for 1 and 2 black, sorcery, all creatures get -1/-1 until end of turn. Creatures that are green and or white get an additional -2/-2 until end of turn. Phyrexian Gargantua 4 and 2 black, it's a 4/4, enters the battlefield, you draw 2 cards and you lose 2 life. Render Inert for 2 and 1 black, sorcery, remove up to 5 counters from target permanent, draw a card. An ideal sorcery to beat and defeat battle cards. Headed Artisan 2 and 1 red, it's a 2/3 with haste, 3 and 1 white Phyrexian mana, transform it and it transforms into Phyrexian Skyflyer, 3/4, flying and haste. Tandem Takedown 1 and 2 green, instant, up to 2 target creatures you control, each get +1/+0 until end of turn. They each deal damage equal to their power to another target creature, planeswalker or battle. Sandstalker Moloch 1 and 2 green, it's a 4/2 with flash, enters the battlefield if an opponent casts a blue and or black spell this turn. Look at the top 4 cards of your library. You may reveal a permanent card from among them and put it into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in random order. Elvish Vet Guardian 1 black and 1 green, it's a 3/3, enters the battlefield, incubate 2. 4/5, transform target incubator token, double the number of +1/+1 counters on it. If you don't know how to play Incubate, I did a tutorial explaining this particular mechanic, how it works. Battles. Invasion of Muraganda 4 and 1 green, enters the battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control, then that creature fights up to 1 target creature you don't control. 6 defense counter, and when the siege is defeated, it transforms into Primordial Plasm 4/4. At the beginning of combat on your turn, another target creature gets +2/+2 and loses all abilities until end of turn. If you don't know how to play battle cards, I also did a tutorial explaining how this new card type works. Invasion of Mercadia 1 and 1 red, enters the battlefield, you may discard a card. If you do, draw 2 cards, 4 defense counters, and when it's defeated, it transforms into Kyren Flame Ride, 3/3, 2 and 1 red, tap. Discard a card, create 2 1/1 blue and red elemental creature tokens. Creatures you control get +1/+0 and gain haste until end of turn. Invasion of Lauren 4 1 green and 1 black, enters the battlefield, destroy *** target non-elf creature an opponent controls with power X or less, where X is the number of lands you control. 5 defense counters, and when it's defeated, it transforms into Winnowing Forces ***. Its power and toughness are equal to the number of lands you control. Rare cards, and let's continue with battle cards. Invasion of Alara, the 5 colors, 1 white, 1 blue, 1 black, 1 red and 1 green, enters the battlefield, exile cards from the top of your library until you exile 2 non-land cards with mana value 4 or less. You may cast one of them without paying its mana cost. Put one of them into your hand, then put the rest of the exile cards on the bottom of your library in random order. 7 defense counters, and when it's defeated, it transforms into Awaken the Maelstrom. Is all colors. Target player draws 2 cards. You may put an artifact card from your hand onto the battlefield. Create a token that's a copy of the permanent you control. Distribute 3 +1/+1 counters among 1, 2, or 3 creatures you control. Destroy target permanent an opponent controls. Invasion of Archivios 3 and 2 blue. Enters the battlefield, search your library, graveyard, and or outside the game for an instant or sorcery card you own. Reveal it and put it into your hand. If you search your library this way, shuffle. 7 defense counters. And when it's defeated, it transforms into Invocation of the Founders. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell from your hand, you may copy that spell. You may choose new targets for the copy. Invasion of Kaldheim 3 and 1 red. Enters the battlefield, exile all cards from your hand, then draw that many cards. Until the end of your next turn, you may play cards exiled this way. 4 defense counters. And when it's defeated, it transforms into Pyre of the Word 3. Enchantment. Discard a land card. It deals 2 damage to any target. Whenever you discard a land card, exile the top card of your library. You may play that card this turn. Hoarding Brooklord 5 and 3 black, 7/6 with Convoke flying. Enters the battlefield, search your library for a card, exile it face down, then shuffle. For as long as that card remains exiled, you may play it. Spells you cast from exile have Convoke. Pile on 3 and 1 black, instant, Convoke. Destroy target creature or planeswalker. Surveil 2. Ayara, Widow of the Realm 1 and 2 black, it's a 3/3. Tap, sacrifice another creature or artifact. It deals X damage to target opponent or battle and you gain X life, where X is that sacrifice permanent's mana value. 5 and 1 red Phyrexian mana, transform it, and it transforms into Ayara, Fairness Queen. It's a 4/4. At the beginning of combat on your turn, return up to 1 target artifact or creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. It gains haste. Exile it at the beginning of the next end step. City on Fire 5 and 3 red. Convoke. If a source you control would deal damage to a permanent or player, it deals triple that damage instead. Kogla and Yidaro 2 red and 2 green, 7/7. When it enters the battlefield, choose one. It gains trample and haste until end of turn. It fights target creature you don't control. 2, 1 red and 1 green. Discard it. Destroy up to 1 target artifact or enchantment. Shuffle it into your library from your graveyard, then draw a card. That's what I call Godzilla versus King Kong. Mythic cards. Invasion of Shandalar 3 and 2 green. Enters the battlefield, return up to 3 target permanent cards from your graveyard to your hand. 4 defense counters. And when it's defeated, it transforms into Leyland Surge. Enchantment. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may put a permanent card from your hand onto the battlefield. Invasion of Innistrad 2 and 2 black with Flash. Enters the battlefield, target creature an opponent controls gets -13/-13 until end of turn. 5 defense counters. And don't forget that -13/-13 can defeat Emrakul the Promised End. When it's defeated, it transforms into Deluge of the Dead. Enchantment. Enters the battlefield, create 2/2 black zombie creature tokens. 2 and 1 black, exile target card from a graveyard. If it was a creature card, create a 2/2 black zombie creature token. Sheodred 3 and 2 black, Menace. Enters the battlefield, each opponent sacrifices a non-token creature or planeswalker. 4 and 1 black, exile it, then return it to the battlefield transformed under its owner's control. Activate only as a sorcery, and if an opponent has 8 or more cards in their graveyard. And she transforms into the True Scriptures. Enchantment Saga. Chapter 1. For each opponent, destroy up to 1 target creature the player controls. Chapter 2. Each opponent discards 3 cards and mills 3 cards. Chapter 3. Put all creature cards from all graveyards on the battlefield under your control. Exile it and return it to the battlefield. Vorinclex, a praetor that we haven't seen since Kaldheim. 3 and 2 green, it's a 6/6. Trample Reach. Enters the battlefield, search your library for up to 2 forest cards. 2 forest cards, not basic cards. So, Triumphs, Hideouts, and Shocklands count. Reveal them and put them into your hand, then shuffle. 6 and 2 green, exile it and transform it. And it transforms into the Grand Evolution. Enchantment Saga. Chapter 1. Mill 10 cards. Put up to 2 creature cards from among the milled cards onto the battlefield. Chapter 2. Distribute 7 +1/+1 counters among any number of target creatures you control. Chapter 3. Until end of turn, creatures you control gain. For 1 generic mana, this creature fights target creature you don't control. Exile it and return it to the battlefield. And don't forget that when you exile the Enchantment Saga part of these new Phyrexian Praetors, they return on the battlefield as the creature. So that was the last card in this particular day 3 of the spoilers of March of the Machine. Join me tomorrow for another day of spoilers, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more and more interesting videos about Magic the Gathering and the collectible world.